Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Dylan. I'm the head of international here at THS, which is the student union of KTH. So this means that I work on everything regarding international students at KTH and I represent them towards the university. Now, I'm actually also a student. I moved to Sweden and came to KTH to study my bachelor's in information and communication technology about 2 years ago in the fall of 2023. So I've taken a break from my studies for a year to work at THS full time because I think it's very fun and important what we do here at the union. And so I'm here today and I'll tell you a bit about what we do here at the Student Union. And joining me is Chris.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chris. Um, I am the project advisor for this year's THS International Reception, meaning that I was project manager last year for this project. I study my last year now on my master's. I'm just finishing up um, in sustainable urban planning and design. I'm a Swedish student and have been studying at KTH for many years. I'm also from Stockholm, so I know a lot about the city. But Dylan, take it away.
Yeah. So today we'll tell you a bit about what THS is, what the Student Union can offer you when you're a student here at KTH, and why you would want to be a member of the Student Union. And then you'll also get a bit more information about the International Reception, which is the group that has been contacting you via email, and probably the main reason you are here. But we'll start off with the student union, since in order to fully understand how the international reception even comes to be, you need to know a bit about the student union and that it even exists and what it does, because it's always good to know most of what is going on at the university you study at. So THS is here for your study time, your leisure time, and your future. So we work to keep and constantly develop the quality of education here at KTH. We also shape stronger contact between businesses and students. And very important, we work towards a more enriching student life, like through things like the international reception. So in short, we are here to ensure that your time here at KTH is as good as possible and you have the best experience while you study here. Now, over the years, we have actually managed some changes here at KTH that we think were very important to make studies even better. So one of the bigger changes we achieved recently was that every teacher needed to have taken a course in university pedagogy. Yeah, that's how you say that word. So that they had to learn how to actually teach people, because that was not always the case. So not all courses were great. And now more courses are great. There's still obviously some bad ones, but less of them. And then also we forced it through that KTH needs to provide a syllabus for every course, which also wasn't always the case. Which, yeah, good luck studying a course without a full-on syllabus. So, what is THS actually? You will be THS if you joined KTH and joined the student union, of course. So, we have over 12,000 members. We are a network of different chapters or sections, which is a different kind of concept, which I'll elaborate on a little bit later. That is built up as a democratic organization from students for students. So, it's completely run by students. And with over 12,000 members today, it is one of the largest technical student unions in Sweden. So we are very big for what we do. So talking a bit about chapters, some universities refer to these as sections, others refer to them as guilds. Those translations might be a bit more appropriate. KTH is the only one that actually uses the translation chapter. But all of you will belong to a chapter depending on what you study. Now, each chapter offers different services and opportunities, like a chapter hall, which means that people from the chapter can gather in a space where they congregate to study or even to just hang out. They also have microwaves in the chapter halls, so they're a great place to heat up and eat your lunch with some friends. And every chapter also hosts a wide variety of activities, like weekly chapter pubs, where the chapter hall then transforms into a pub, which is fully run by students. And the chapters are also responsible for representing their study programs. So, for example, the physics chapter would work with KTH to make sure that the theoretical physics program is of a high quality and would deal with any issues. So, if you study anything related to chemistry, for example, you will belong to the chemistry chapter, which is actually the one you can see at the top right of the screen there. We have 22 different chapters, so there's a wide variety in which chapters you belong to. Of course, this does not limit your student life. You can still hang out with people from anyone else from KTH. It's just usually forms a bit more stronger bonds between the people at those chapters because they simply study together. They take the same courses. They usually see each other more. So this is going to be your experience most likely here. And chapters are usually the thing we have the most problems explaining because it is not a very self-explanatory concept. So if you have any questions about this, don't hesitate to ask. We're trying our best to do it even better this year to explain them more, but it will most likely still be confusing until you show up at KTH. Now, speaking of chapters, one special thing about Swedish universities and KTH in general is actually the overall culture. So the student overall is a piece of clothing that is worn by students, usually to parties, but really to any student activity where you want to represent your university or your chapter. So at KTH, every chapter has a different color of overall. So especially during the reception, the campus can look very colorful when a lot of students are wearing their overalls. And you will also notice that you will be able to collect patches, little embroidery patches, just something like this, which you are able to then sew onto your overall and to keep kind of as a treasure trove or a memory book of all the things you've done with it. So here you can see some pictures. These are 4 different chapters, and as you can see, there are 4 different overall colors. 2 of them are combined on one picture, and they look very similar. But depending on what chapter you belong to, you can get those colored overalls. You can represent your university. They're also just a great garment to have. Very, very versatile. Now, if you want to know what chapter you belong to, I would suggest you take a screenshot of this in case you can't scan the QR code fast enough. But if you want to know what chapter you belong to, you can scan the QR code. Now, you just input your study program, you'll see what chapter you are mapped to. Most chapters have an international group which organizes activities in English and specifically for international students for the chapter. Some chapters already do all of their activities in English. And some chapters, unfortunately, don't do much in English because they are, first of all, very small and don't have a lot of international students. Of course, this should not hinder you. You can still join the chapter. You can start your own group. You can organize your own events for the chapter. But you can also join centralized international communities here at THS, like, for example, THS Main, which is for all Masters International students and actually all students at KTH to just be kind of a social club to hang out and meet people, and all events are done in English so that it's inclusive to the max. So I'll give you a few more seconds to take a screenshot or scan the QR code. We'll also send out the webinar so you can figure it out later if you missed the opportunity now. Yeah, and then THS is of course also here to support you. So if you have a disability or a special condition that impacts your learning, you are entitled to receive so-called FUNCA support from KTH, which can include a variety of things. It could include some note takers that help you take notes in classes. You can get extra time on exams. And then there's also an organization called Student Health Sun, which is a free service and provides psychological support and some others as well. And also, if anything negative has happened to you, anything you feel like you should talk with someone about, every chapter has a student safety officer who is legally bound to silence, and they will be able to help you. And then THS also has a head student safety officer who takes care of sensitive situations. So don't hesitate to speak out if anything ever happens to you at KTH. Hopefully it doesn't, but you never know. And then as a student union, the main purpose of THS is to monitor the education and the study environments at KTH, which we've done for over 120 years, actually. We're going to celebrate our 125-year jubilee in 2027. So some of you might be here for that. It's going to be a great year. And this actually involves a lot of meetings and a lot of surveys, but someone has to do it to keep up the exceptional quality of education we get to enjoy here at KTH. So you can get more or less involved with this. You can also sit in meetings with the university. You can represent your program or your course. But even if you don't want to get that involved, please, when you get a survey at the end of your courses or during your study time, please fill them out. It helps us make the experience better for everyone, maybe even still for you, but also for the students that come after you. Now, if you want to find us once you're here in Stockholm and at KTH, you can find us at the Student Union building, which is called Nimble. Now, this is one of the first buildings you see on campus. It is just on the left when you exit the metro stop at the campus. And it is available for every student at KTH. It offers a large amount of study spots. It offers you microwaves to heat up your food. It has a restaurant, it has a cafe, and also a bookstore. And as a THS member, you get access during non-study hours as well. So it is one of the hubs for social activity, which you will notice during the reception. We will have a lot of activities hosted in this building because it has a lot of rooms that you can rent. You can also rent them as a student. Unfortunately, it costs a little bit, but for example, there's even a sauna in the building. Chris is actually sitting right next to the sauna right now. He's sitting in the building. Maybe he can show you a bit. Yeah, I don't think it automatically transfers over to Chris's video, but maybe it'll show in the webinar afterwards. But you'll get to explore this a lot once you study here at KTH. You'll probably spend a lot of time in here. So it is good to familiarize yourself with it. If you ever want to come to the THS reception, it is located in this building. And then THS also offers a lot of social activities. So in terms of activities to join, there's no shortage of them here. We have over 50 different union associations, which are clubs that focus on specific interests. So for example, we have several theater groups, one of which is an English improv club. We have several choirs. We have some student orchestras. One of them is for jazz. There's also just a general orchestra. We have a lot of sports clubs. I think we have about 25 or 30 different sports clubs, all focused on their own sports. And so we have, yeah, like the racket club, and we'll get more about that later. And then just specific interest clubs. If you're really into AI, we have the AI Society, which, yeah, they do stuff regarding AI. They host lunch lectures, they have workshops, stuff like that. We even have a club that's just here to experience student life. So there is no shortage. You can find all of them on the thskdh.se website if you want to learn more about them before you come here. Otherwise, you will also meet all of them at the Union Day, which happens in the first week of studies. No, it is in the week before studies, where every single union association presents themselves in the student union building. So you can just walk around the building, meet all of the associations, figure out what they do, maybe see what you think would be fun. But also what we do is one of the biggest events we have is the after exam party in the student union building, which happens every weekend after the exams are over. So just for that one day, we convert the building into Stockholm's largest nightclub to celebrate the end of the exams. So you'll probably experience one of those if you choose to go to them. But then talking more about sports, I know many of you want to stay active. So you will have a lot of opportunities here at KTH. We actually have a gym on campus, and we have an outdoor gym at the Alba Nova campus, just a few minutes walk away from the main campus. Now, we also have a lot of different sports associations and clubs if you want to do a specific sport. So, for example, we have the basketball club, a volleyball club, a swimming club, a racket club. We have an outdoor club, sailing, soccer, hockey. Yeah, we have a lot of them. And then there's also within each chapter, they have a sports group, which just organizes a variety of sports to just hang out and keep active. THS Sports does a similar thing for every student at KTH and at THS, just organize a variety of random sports events to keep active and have fun. THS Sports also organizes trips to international university competitions, which you will see a bit more about later in the fall. We will be going to, I think, Barcelona for an international university competition this fall. So if you're good at one of the sports you do, maybe you can try out for it. Maybe you get to go to Barcelona in fall. And then we also have the KTH Sports Foundation, which offers free sports activities at the gym on campus for every KTH student. So these are a bit more focused on performance sports. So they do stuff like weightlifting, CrossFit. They also offer yoga and just meditation if you're into that. And also a few more things. I don't remember all of them, but you can take a look at all of these and figure out what they do if you want to stay active. Yeah. And then THS is also here to keep you in contact with companies. So we have a bridge between, yeah, we try to create a bridge between students and the professional life. So this is especially important for you that are staying here for a bit longer, not just for one semester like the exchange students, unless you also want to stay in Stockholm a bit longer. But we have a lot of events to meet employers. We have stuff like lunch lectures, and we have a lot of career fairs. So this fall, we will have THS Armada, which is Scandinavia's largest career fair, where we have over 100 companies presenting themselves. And then almost every chapter also hosts their own career fair specific for the topic that the chapter studies. So if you are part of the physics chapter, you will get to see the career fair for the physics chapter, which focuses on companies that would employ those students studying physics, for example. So you'll definitely want to attend these if you intend to, I mean, just create contact with companies, maybe stay longer in Sweden if you want to stay here to work, or maybe just to find an internship, a summer job, or a thesis. Yeah, and then I mean to summarize why you want to become a member of THS. Of course, we have the SSSB housing queue. You've probably heard about this. If you have not heard about the SSSB housing queue, please Google it and create an account so that you can start collecting queue days already. So you may, if you've read about it, you may know you can only collect more than 90 queue days once you're a student union member. So it is great for cheap accommodation. And yeah, so if you want to join the SSB housing queue, if you want to find accommodation, you unfortunately need to be a member of the student union. You can't just be in the queue. So you should join the student union as soon as you can register for courses, is when you can join the student union. You also get free entrance to our after exam parties. You get to take part in your chapter, so you get cheaper events with your chapter. You have the right to participate, you have the right to vote, you can hold positions of trust to support the chapter further. And you also get discounts in the restaurant, in the cafe, and the union bookstore. And the membership costs around 220 crowns a semester if you want to just have it for one semester, or 365 crowns a year, which is actually only 1 crown a day. And during leap years, you get one free day. So I think it's a pretty good deal. I am, of course, a little bit biased, but I think almost everyone here from the international reception team is also a member of THS. So it is worth it. If you're not sure, of course, you have some time to decide. But the membership registration opens on the day of post registration, which is at the end of August. So from that day on, you can be a member of THS. And now I can hand it over a bit to Chris to present the international reception.
All right. So now we're done with the boring part. No, sorry, Dylan. You had the important stuff for the students and their student health, but I will talk about a bit about your life now in the coming month, in August and half of September, which is the reception time. The reception is a huge project organized by roughly 240 people, of which 40 or so are managers in different senses, and then roughly 200 of which will be buddies. These buddies, you'll think, what's that? Buddies are responsible for a buddy group, of which I hope that you will be a part of. It's a lot of fun. It's going to be you and roughly 20 at the start, strangers, but soon they'll hopefully not be strangers anymore, many of which might in fact turn out to be your friends. We've even had a few couples turn out to be, I mean, I think we had a wedding last year, so could happen. Anyway, with that aside, the buddies are also there to answer a lot of your questions and help you settle into Stockholm and Sweden in general. They can help with like finding a place to get your food, how to get around the city, some places to visit, maybe some good cafes, where to find the best kanelbullar or cinnamon buns, and so on. But if you have more in-depth questions related to immigration or residential permits, etc., please contact Dylan instead. He's more qualified to answer that, I believe. Though some of the buddies, I'm sure, have a lot of experience with this as well, as that they're both international students, and some of them are also Swedish students, so you'll get a mix. These buddy groups as well will hopefully be comprised of mostly students that also study the same program or master as you. We cannot fully guarantee this, as the division between the masters is a bit uneven. The poor lone person doing material science from the Bears chapter, we didn't want to leave you alone, so you'll still get some friends. But each buddy group has two buddies, so you have two people to ask a lot of questions. Lastly, we have a lot of events, 200 in fact, even a bit more. These run from the 1st of August till the 19th of September. The 1st of August, we start with what's called Arrival Day. There'll be 2 other Arrival Days on the 16th and 17th of August. I'll talk a bit more about them in just a second. But know that there's a lot of events that you can be a part of. But to be a part of them, you need to sign up into the sign-up system once it releases. And I highly suggest that you sign up and sign up to events as fast as possible. We have 200 plus events, but there are like 3,000 of you. So some of these events will disappear very fast. We're not talking like, oh, I should wait for a week. No, do it same day, same hour. It can be very fast if you want a very specific event. So if you don't want to lose your spot, sign up to the sign-up system as soon as the link becomes available, and then choose your event, which will hopefully be available in late July, I believe, or later July. For Arrival Days, there will be 3 in total, and these are hosted in collaboration with KTH Entree. These take part on the 1st of August, the 17th of August, and the 16th of August. That was a very strange order. Basically, these are days where you can come to KTH and get all your KTH credentials, meaning both your email address, and if you have housing through KTH, you'll also get your bed linen, etc. And you'll also get the chance to pay for your events through us and check in, as well as get your wristband. Your wristband is your ticket into all the events that we host, and it's incredibly important that you keep it on at all times. I know it's annoying that you need to keep this flappy band on you for a month or month and a half if you're coming very early, but trust me, you don't want to break it, because if you break it, we can't guarantee that you can get a second one. But for Arrival Days, one important thing to note is that I don't know if you've been to the webinar with KTH. They mentioned buses, and this is true. During these days, you can where KTH organizes buses from Arlanda Airport to KTH directly, and these are free to you. But note that these buses prioritize students. So if you're traveling with a partner or with your family, etc., or friends, then they'll prioritize you as a student, and your +1, 2, whatever, may not get a seat depending on how full the bus is. There are other ways to get to KTH as well, such as taking Arlanda Express or the Flygbussarna or Flixbus. I think those are the 3 easiest and cheapest. There are other ways as well, but since you're coming with a lot of luggage, I assume, then I would not suggest taking any of the other routes. With that said, you also, if you cannot attend any of the Arrival Days, you'll also get other chances to both get your KTH credentials. You can go to KTH Entree at any weekday, I believe, between 10 and 4, 7, 4.
10 and 16.
10 and 16, yes. I'm losing track of time. And you can also go to any of our check-in desks. I think you have already gotten the schedule for these check-in desks in the first email that we sent out to you, but there is roughly 3 per week. Some weeks there are more. And thing to note about the wristband, it doesn't cost, but when you get the wristband, you also get to pay for your events. And during the check-in desks, you'll also have a chance to both check into your event and pay for events. And if there are any events left, these will be sold after the check-in desk of the day. So roughly at 1 to 2 every check-in day. But it's going to be fun. Now, let's talk about some events. There are, as I mentioned, roughly 200 plus events. These ranges from parties such as pubs, pub crawls, and what we call gasks and oscars. These you will learn more about once you get here. If I try to explain them now, you'll look at me like I'm a crazy person. Then there is also a bunch of sports events. These range from bouldering to hikes to, I think we are doing flunky ball as well. So we have everything in between. We also have a bunch of culture events ranging from museum trips to art trips, and also a bunch of baking nights that you can take part in if you want to experience some Swedish cooking. Yes, so event sign up. So we've talked about how important the events are and the importance of signing up to the sign up system. But how do I sign up to an event? Well, the easiest thing to do is sign up to the sign up system that we have made ourselves. So be aware there can be some bugs. Please let us know if there are. We are trying our best, but this is not enterprise level. We're just students. But there are free events and there are paid ones. And there are some that you can choose more from than not. At the very start, you'll only be able to choose 2 events because we want to make sure that as many people as possible can attend as many events as possible. If there are way more events left, we will of course lift this as we get closer to the reception. But how to do it? You basically search for the event that you want to attend to, and then you press check, register for event. The link to the registry and how you register for everything will be sent in July, later in July, I'm sorry. And you can already maybe start looking at the events sometime mid-July, I hope. Our IT team is hard at work, still ironing out the last few bugs. All the events we try to make them as student-friendly in price as much as we can. So some of them will be quite discounted. So if you want to attend them through us, they'll be cheaper rather than if you went some other time. Of course, can you not attend at this hour? You're of course welcome to come another day, or go there another day. So if you don't want to miss any information from us, you can scan the QR code. That will take you to our Discord where we can answer a lot of your questions, and if you have any, and you can also interact with a bunch of students there. It's not the QR code to KTH Going Group. If you have the Going app, you can search for THS International Reception, and it'll lead you there. Otherwise, we have our other social medias, such as Instagram, which is going to be our main source of information for each day, as well as our website and the info email, which you can reach out to with any questions. As soon as you have your buddies as well, they will also be a source of information. They usually have WhatsApp groups with you guys, so you can reach them through that. And with that, I think I have finished my things. Do you guys have any questions? Please let us know in the Q&A, and we'll try to answer as many as possible. The people in the Q&A board, do you have any questions that come up a lot? Now we can take live.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I noticed, a bit of confusion, you can become a THS member on the 21st of August once you register for your courses, and from that time on you can continue queuing with SSSB. You cannot become a THS member before the 21st of August. However, you can join the THS International Reception from the 1st of August on. So if you arrive on the 1st of August, you're a KTH student, you can just take the buses from the airport. They are offered by KTH, so you can just go to them and tell them, oh yeah, I'm a KTH student. You'll get to take a free bus from the airport right to KTH. And then from there, you will be able to join the international reception. You can register with us. Now, if you don't want to spend any money, you are of course able to just join the free events. We don't require you to spend any money. Some of the events are quite expensive for us to organize, so we do charge a small fee for them. But it is not required to spend money to join the international reception. You can get everything for free. Well, every free event for free and the wristband for free as well. Some of the events will be paid. Unfortunately, if you want to go bouldering, you still have to pay a little bit.
For example, or if you want to take part in the final event, the Grand Banquet. I mean, sorry, wrong banquet. That also is a bit of a fee.
Yeah.
It was a very great event, though. Very pretty.
Yeah, so you don't need to register with us before you show up at a check-in desk or at an arrival day. You can just show up and then, hello, I'm here now. and we will be happy to accommodate you. We would appreciate it if you will see once the sign-up system releases, you can mark, oh, I want to join the arrival day. We would appreciate it if you mark that if you want to join it so that we can plan accordingly. Because at the arrival days, we will be offering barbecue. So you'll get, if you check in at the arrival days, you get some free barbecue. You'll get
And some
toast,
fika.
yes, and some fika, of course, and some coffee in case you're tired. You'll get tote bags on the arrival days, which don't contain much, just a bunch of advertisements. But it is a free tote bag, and we do care about sustainability. So you can get started with the Swedish way of not taking bags from grocery stores. You just bring your own. We will also be offering SIM cards. So this was unclear up until about a week ago. So we were on the safe side and said we do not. We will be offering free SIM cards if you come to our check-in desks. So you can get a free SIM card from us when you arrive. If you need one. So, I mean, EU SIM cards, they work in Sweden, so you might not think it's necessary. But for everyone else, we do offer them again this year, just to be clear.
One thing that I forgot to mention about the chapters is that the events is that each chapter, when you sign up to the sign up system, you will also write in which program or which chapter you belong to. And most of the chapters, I mean, do actually organize events, not all of them. So you will see some special events that are only for your chapter if you want to get to know them better. Say, for example, I belong to the S chapter, so the S chapter will organize an event, say a picnic, then only the S chapter students will be able to attend them to get to know the others, of course.
And we also collaborate with a lot of different union associations. So it's a good way to just get started with them. So for example, the outdoor club usually does some hikes. So if you want to join a hike from the outdoor club to just have a chat with them or meet them, that is a great opportunity to do that. So you will see all of these events on the sign-up system. They will be marked, oh, this event with, and then who we're doing it with. So that it's clear that it's with other people. I mean, if you have any more questions, feel free to ask them. Otherwise, we will probably end the webinar here. But we will send out more information via email. You should have received the student guide via your email. It contains a lot of important information that you can read through. It's a long document, but it has been updated over the past 6 or 7 years, so it's a treasure trove of information, very useful to read through.
Yeah. One thing, student cards and student discounts. I saw basically, as soon as you can register for your courses, you'll be able to apply to the Mecenat card, which is the student card that is used in Sweden. Before that, you cannot use student discounts because most will ask for like the Mecenat card, and on it you have a little, basically a virtual card. You can ask for a physical card if you want as well. But if you want to use, say, the public transit student discount, don't use it before, because if they check you, you will end up paying a fee. And that is not great. So you'll have to wait until you get the registration and then wait. I think it takes a few days to a week. And then you'll get the card and it will update correctly.
And also a question I see, some of you probably do not have housing sorted out yet. I know it is very stressful. So if you do not have housing sorted out yet, I'm not going to say don't panic because that would be bad advice, but if you're not the only ones, I know it might seem like, oh, everyone else has gotten KDH housing. I arrived here in Stockholm without having housing arranged yet for myself. So I stayed at a very cheap hotel for around 1 or 2 weeks, I think, while I managed to find a housing in those first 2 weeks. Of course, you should explore all possibilities. So once again, please sign up to SSSB if you have not done so yet. But yeah, so you are not the only one without housing. Unfortunately, it's a recurring problem. However, it is also a little bit easier to find housing once you're in Stockholm, because you can actually visit places and make sure they're not scams, which are unfortunately also very prevalent. Yeah, so the student card you
Oh, the
cannot get
student card.
before the 21st of August. So the student card is only valid once you're registered for courses at KTH. So that can only be done from the 21st of August. And if you want to take a look at it, let's see how well this shows on the.
Yeah, I have it here. It doesn't show very well. Let's see. Ah, there we go. It looks like this. I'm trying to get it not terrible.
So it is
There
not
we
a
go.
physical card, it is only an app on your phone.
You can get it as a physical card, but then you need to ask for it.
Right. Any more questions? Feel free to ask them. We're happy to answer anything.
Yes. What should we do? Should we go to 45 or
Yeah, I think we can end at 45. So if you have questions, you can just type them into the Q&A.
yeah.
Yeah, so we will publish the link to the sign-up system in mid-July, so where you can then see all of the activities we offer. And you can sign up to them already in July. However, you do need to pay for them in person, which you can do once you're here in Stockholm. So you can't, and if you don't pay in time, unfortunately, you lose the activity. So you should make sure that you, that you only book activities which you will be here for. So a question, should you bring cash? I would say no, unless your card is explicitly disabled in Sweden. But even in that case, you should try to take alternatives like Revolut or Wise, because most places in Sweden just straight up do not accept cash anymore. So cash will unfortunately not bring you very far.
I've also seen another question pop up a few times. There are sadly no bus facilities offered by KTH, taking you from KTH to, say, Lapis, for example, where a lot of people will stay for their accommodation. You need to take the public transit, but it's only the subway and it's one stop. But that stop is also then followed by a bus or I think it's a 10-minute walk. So be advised about that when you're traveling. So I suggest if you have other people also traveling to Lapis, find them and book like a Uber or a cab or something. It will save you a lot of pain in your arms. Trust me. A thing about chapters, they're completely optional. If you don't want to take part in it, it's totally fine. They offer a lot of benefits to you, both study-wise and social-wise, if you're interested in that. But they're not mandatory. They do help a bit with your study courses in that there are people responsible from the student side towards the examiner that are usually connected to the chapters. PAS, well, program responsible students, and so on.
And the free SIM cards, they will be available on all check-in desks, not just at the arrival days. So you don't have to arrive on arrival days to claim them. However, the tote bags will only be available for arrival days because tote bags are expensive and we have monetary restrictions. And you will also be able to keep your luggage on the arrival days, only on the arrival days, not during the normal check-in desk. But if you arrive on the arrival days, there will be a space for you to keep your luggage while you do all the administrative stuff with KTH or with THS, or while you just hang out and have some barbecue. So you will be able to store your luggage somewhere. Right. I think these are the last questions we'll answer now, and then we'll end the webinar here. Thank you all for joining. If you have any questions, once again, don't hesitate to email us or ask questions on our various channels.
Dylan, can you go back to that slide?
Yes.
So people have a chance, one last chance.
So for the luggage on arrival days, the luggage storage will be available during KTH Entree's opening hours, which you can find on the KTH website, because they do vary based on the day. I think on the arrival day 1, on the 1st of August, they open at 12. But on the other days, they already open at 10. Don't quote me on this. This is what I remember. Please do double check on the KTH websites.
For attendees attending the reception, I mean, there is mostly international students. There are Swedish students attending as well, coming from other universities in Sweden. They're also welcome. The international reception welcomes all the new master students. So these also include the students coming from Sweden. Yeah.
Yeah, so it might be confusing if some of you are from Sweden already to being called the international reception. Unfortunately, that's just the name we are stuck with. This is a reception for all the new master students, so everyone that does not start their bachelor at KTH or
Yeah.
their 5-year degree at KTH.
To
Everyone
KTH.
else, yeah, we collect everyone else.
To KTH, if you're from outside KTH, basically you are an international. That means even if you're from SU, you're still an international student.
So once again, the course registration for KTH starts on the 21st of August. It is the week before classes start. And then also I see a question about old exams. Some chapters do offer their old exams with their through their resources. KTH also has some old exams available on the course web. There are also a wide variety of other resources, which I have actually never gotten in touch into, but I'm sure someone you meet will know, maybe your buddy group. But you can get your hands on the old exams if you want to.
There are some services as well for especially some of the larger courses. I'm blanking on the name right now that you can use. Some of these services are paid, some are for free.
Oh yeah, and regarding the student card, if you do take your Swedish classes or the English courses from the 1st of August, you can get your student card earlier since you're already studying. But for the vast majority of you that are not taking the pre-course Swedish or English courses, you will only register for courses from the 21st of August. Yeah. Yeah, and you can register for THS on the 21st of August, but you can join the international reception beforehand already. I know it is very confusing. They both have the very similar names, but they are not really the same thing. One of them organizes the other. It's a very confusing structure, but you can join the international reception without joining THS. Now, for any questions regarding the Swedish course registration, unfortunately, I do not know the answer on how to register for those. Please send an email to KTH. They will be able to help you. Their email is info@kth.se. I think we'll close the Q&A in about 30 seconds. So
Let's
get
do
your
that.
final questions in. Yeah. And if you want your personal number, you can get that as soon as you have been registered for courses. So you will need one of the documents you need is your course registration document for EU students specifically, since I do believe this also for non-EU students. One of the reasons for getting a personal number is studies, which you need to prove by providing your registration documents, which you will get on the 21st of August, once again. Very important date. All right. And we
That,
have no more questions. So thank you all for joining the webinar. Hopefully
yes,
you learned a bit. If you have any questions, do email us. We will be happy to answer them.
or contact us through other channels.
Thank you for joining.
Have a nice day and a weekend.
Yes.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.